Ho! That was a long intro, but you know, I figured I'd do a little bit longer intro because people are joining in. What's happening, Mangia Nation? Thanks for stopping by. Robert Heaven and Cooking Vamp 79 Cooking Vamps. All right, and tonight we are talking Father's Day. All right, I'm on the edge of my seat to talk about Father's Day. And a few pointers, a few observations. I reached out to more than a few people and talked about Father's Day. I had a lot of laughs, I got to tell you. I had a lot of conversations that can't be repeated here. But I'm going to give you the footnotes, the Cliff's notes on that, about Father's Day, being a father, and some ideas about the day. So let me jump right into it. Being a father, you know, fatherhood, that's one half of the parenting equation. You know, there's fathering and there's mothering. And this father, as a father, the thing I really want mostly is to see my kids thrive. Who doesn't? I mean, that's what you want to see. As your fathering skills are, you know, they're not graded, but that's what you want to see, man. I want to see my kids thrive. And I'm sure my dad through his whole life was concerned about that, making sure that his kids were thriving. You want them to be happy in anything that they do, right? And I personally want them to live a life on purpose, all right? Not really having to say you're sorry too often. Live your life on purpose with enthusiasm, all right? With enthusiasm. Now, all of these things, you know, they take time to develop, and it takes time for you to be a good father. I know that I had problems with my father. In fact, this has been said before. You know, when I was 18, I thought my dad was an idiot, a complete idiot. And when I was 23, I couldn't believe how much he'd learned in just 5 years. And so as you age and as you mature, obviously, your brain gets reworked, all right? And you understand the challenges of fatherhood, of being a man, of growing up, and all those things that are thrown into it. But anyway, so I had a conversation to talk to a few people and ask them Father's Day and what they wanted for Father's Day, all right? And one thread, and sometimes emotional tones was, hey, listen, I just want to be left alone, all right? I want to be left alone on Father's Day, all right? Another thread was, whatever it is, I don't want more stuff, all right? And I think some of this goes to Father's Day. It's like maybe a chance that a father doesn't have to be a father on that day. I mean, we're celebrating fatherhood, but the last thing that a father really wants to do is do a bunch of fathering on Father's Day, all right? A dad for sure doesn't want drama. He doesn't want to have to figure something out for somebody. You know, he wants the day to chill for sure. You know, he doesn't want, you know, that great IKEA big screen TV stand to put together. Hey, happy Father's Day. Here's an IKEA stand. I'll spend the next 5 hours cursing trying to put it together. Ron, you're forgiven for being late. No worries. Hello, Mark. Hello, Lori. Maury, what's going on? Thank you for showing up today. And I'm going to vamp on this for a little bit more here. Yeah, man, you know, as a father on Father's Day, a big agenda of stuff to do for me, forget about it, man. I don't want to do that. And I don't want a lot of fathering involved. I ask, and here's number one. How about number one for Father's Day? All right, is really ask your dad what the heck he wants for Father's Day or to do on Father's Day. Ask him. And you know what? Then don't be offended if it's not what your plans were or what you wanted to get him. All right? So I did a little research, and the top 3 on gifts for Father's Day, and I was actually Very happy to see this. Very happy to see this. Not so much 3 and 2, but number 1 especially. 3 was tools, which is kind of cool because sometimes as a dad, if you've got a hobby or something, and you might be chewing on the cost of something, and if you get a really cool tool that you need in the wood shop or whatever you're doing, that's a great idea. Number 2, clothes. I don't know. Any gift of clothes on Father's Day is just a gift to goodwill later on. I mean, I'm saying forget about it. Forget about the clothes. But number 1 gift for fathers on Father's Day, and I highly applaud this, is something experiential, all right? To go do something with the old man, all right? I know going fishing is dying, all right? Nobody fishes anymore, but I'm still going to put a vote out for fishing. Take the old man out fishing. Well, hold on a second. I want to go to another place just because I got technology on my side. You know, get him out to the ball game. Hey, cold beer. You know, if you're at the ball game, is that my beer? Hold on, is that mine? Take him to a ball game, you know? Come on, Brian. Let's go. Get that elbow up. You know, at the ball game, you know, I listened to Mark Cuban one time talk about owning the Dallas Mavericks. And he said it's really not, at the end of the day, obviously you want a competitive team. But, you know, 10 years from now, you probably won't remember the score of the game that you went to see. You might even know who your team played. But you remember spending an afternoon with your father at the ball game. All right? So get out to the ball. Hey, is that Bartman? Bartman, they let you back in? All right, listen, I haven't forgotten. Most of it, I have forgotten, man. They treated you rotten. They treated you rotten. All right? Bartman, get to the game, you know. Let Bartman back in Wrigley. So experiential. Go out to the ball game. All right? You're going to remember time spent on an experiential type journey with the father much more than he's going to remember it too. Much more than a tie or a pair of socks or some whatever, a golf shirt. He's just gonna. That's all there is to it. All right. So for you late arrivals, I want to recap here. All right. One of the early threads was, and if people were really being honest, dads were really being honest, what they want for Father's Day is a break. I mean, I heard that leave me alone for the day. How about that? You know, and I think what it goes to, again, is not wanting to be a father on Father's Day, all right? They want to chill. And here's another good experiential thing that you can do. You know, my father-in-law used to say, you know, he liked to do is have a feeding. Now, he was from British Columbia, and this stems from, you know, having like a crab harvest or something, and you have a feeding of something. So you put on the bib, you get the pot boiling, and you boil up a bunch of crab, and you have yourself a genuine feeding on something. And it could be crab, it could be lobster, it could be 10 racks of ribs. Have a feeding, all right? And listen, if you're an older person, you don't say, Dad, we're gonna have a feeding, and then throw all the work on the dad for the feeding. All right, don't do that. All right, if you're gonna have the feeding, take care of it all. If you want to do it for your pops, all right, you want him to come to the table and sit down and enjoy the fruits of your labor. To put it to not say, hey, Dad, we're gonna have a feeding. Will you clean all the lobsters, or crack all the crabs, or cook all the ribs? You know. And again, back to ask him what he wants. If that's what he wants to do, if your dad's the kind of dad that says, listen, you know what I want to do? I want to cook 10 racks of ribs. I want to get a 6-pack on ice, and I want to just chill and get the queue going and sip on some cold beers and watch the smoke work on those ribs and listen to some tunes. You know what? Ask him what he wants. And then don't be offended by his answer. Do what he wants to do. And if he doesn't want to do anything, how about that? Dad, I'm giving you the day off from being a dad. See ya. All right? All right. Anybody else out there got an idea in Mangia Nation land about a great idea for a Father's Day gift? Before I go to the chuck wagon and leave Bartman, listen, Bartman, I forgive you, man. I forgive you. It's okay. It's okay. The Cubs are going to do it this year. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.